Have you ever really wondered what it takes to build the future? I mean, not just to talk about it, but to actually be the one laying the digital bricks, crafting the experiences that are going to define tomorrow? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on a company that's been doing just that for years, right at the intersection of storytelling and some seriously pioneering tech. Let's dive into their journey.
So this is I Have Robots, and their whole mission is about crafting these amazing, story-driven experiences that merge our physical world with the digital one. And look, this goes way beyond just making another app or a website. We're talking about work on the frontiers of AR, VR, and AI to build completely new ways for us to interact with everything. This quote right here, it just nails their philosophy. The goal isn't just to show off some flashy tech demo, it's about fundamentally transforming the interaction itself. Building a whole new kind of conversation between a brand and its audience, all through technology. Which, of course, brings us to the big question. How do you actually build the future? I mean, who has that really rare mix of skills to not only see what's coming next, but to actually be the one to build it? To answer that, you really have to look at the company's DNA. The whole philosophy of I Have Robots is directly tied to the journey of its founder, and it's a story that's been decades in the making. It all starts right here, with John Anthony Hartman. And what's so interesting is this duality from the very beginning. On one hand, he was a theater kid, totally immersed in storytelling and human expression. But he was also the kind of tech nerd who was literally taking computers apart way back in 1981. This unique blend of art and engineering, that's the DNA of the whole company.
And, that journey wasn't just a personal one. It actually runs in parallel with the evolution of artificial intelligence itself. This wasn't just some passive interest. This was hands-on, in-the-trenches work, building a foundation of expertise that would end up defining the entire company.
This timeline just shows a fascinating parallel. Back in the mid-90s, while MIT was pioneering social robotics with its Kismet project, Hartman was deep inside Microsoft exploring the exact same frontier, working under a 10-year NDA on early visual recognition. It just goes to show, he wasn't following trends. He was part of that small, pioneering group that was shaping them from day one.
And it's so important to understand this. This work wasn't just about teaching a computer to recognize, say, a cup. It was all centered on a much deeper idea, affective computing. The goal was to build systems that could interpret and maybe even simulate human emotion. Just think about the difference between a machine that sees a face and one that actually understands a smile. That human-centric focus becomes a core principle for everything that follows. This ability to translate the super complex into something we can all understand was really honed at the Digital Universe Foundation. The challenge wasn't just analyzing data. It was about building tools to truly see it. We're talking about working with groups like NASA and FEMA to turn these massive abstract datasets into powerful, intuitive visual stories. And that skill is absolutely central to how I Have Robots works today. So after years of this deep tech exploration, Hartman takes the next logical step and founds I Have Robots in 2006. Now, this was long before the AI boom we're seeing today, which meant he and his team had to get incredibly creative to build immersive stories with the tools they had back then. This comparison really brings to life the challenges they were up against. In an early project for HP inside the virtual world Second Life, the team couldn't, track a user's actual eyes. So to measure if someone was engaged, they tracked the avatar's actions as a really clever substitute, a proxy for user attention. Now, compare that to today, where they can use direct eye tracking, and you just see this incredible arc of evolving technological mastery. It was the same story for a massive 18-month project for Walmart. The team couldn't just put a sensor in a store to see if customers were happy, so what did they do? They used the data they could get, like foot traffic patterns, to strategically place different parts of their story across all these different channels to get the most impact. They were just masters of storytelling within the limits of the tech at the time. But then, everything changed. The deep learning revolution of the 2010s arrived, and suddenly the full potential of that decades-long journey, that blend of storytelling with deep tech, it could finally be unlocked. And with these new tools, the results were just powerful. By co-founding an entertainment incubator, the I Have Robots team could pioneer a whole new model, one that actually turned a partner brand's marketing budget into profitable intellectual property. This approach helped generate a $150 million sales boost for that partner in just 3 years. It proved that deep story integration could drive serious business. And this is what we call the modern synthesis, where all those different threads come together. They're co-developing XR therapy for traumatic brain injury, using eye tracking as a direct biomarker of brain function. That's affective computing made real and helping people. They're architecting entire innovation ecosystems for billion-dollar IPs like Ultraman, and they're on the beta team for Unity AI using generative tools to literally speak assets into existence, which just collapses the whole production pipeline. It's incredible. At the end of the day, this deep blend of narrative and technology is all about delivering real, tangible results. Across their strategic, multi-platform initiatives, clients have seen outcomes like a 30% jump in audience engagement. It just goes to show that a well-told story, powered by the right tech, really does capture and hold our attention. So this entire journey from those early AI labs to modern virtual production has created more than just expertise. It's forged a proven, actionable process for innovation that I Have Robots now brings to every single one of its clients. Their whole process really boils down to this 3-step philosophy. First, they consult. They draw on all that deep historical knowledge to create plans that are genuinely future-proof. Second, they wrangle, and this is a key step where they rigorously test all the new tech and assemble a custom team of world-class experts for whatever the challenge is. And finally, they deploy, building solutions that aren't just innovative but are also scalable and built to last. Okay, so let's look at a real-world example of this philosophy in action. A new wayfinding experience for the Cleveland Museum of Natural History. Now, this is not just a map on a screen. It's an interactive, live location tool that makes the visitor's entire journey through the physical museum better. And I want you to notice the expected outcomes here. This isn't about tech for the sake of tech. The goals are profoundly human-centered, making the museum more accessible, improving engagement, and deepening people's appreciation for the exhibits. It's a perfect example of using these advanced tools to create a richer human experience. So, this journey from a kid tearing apart computers to an architect of entire virtual worlds, it leaves us with one final, and I think crucial question. As our physical and digital realities keep on merging, who do you trust to tell your story?